Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and as I like to say in every video, if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you popping in, checking it out, man. It's really appreciated, Have a look around, see if you want to stay a minute. Today we're going to be talking about some superheroes in video games, so like comic book characters, mostly. Yeah, I've been wanting to do a series for a bit now, and figured I would do these once a month for a while till I run out of games, which there's quite a bit, so this could be a pretty good series. And if I can, I'd like to do viewer picks. I just started doing that recently with my Xbox series videos, and it's so cool, man, to have people like tell me all these different games, and then for me to like talk about that person's game and mention them, and then hopefully seeing it, which a lot of people did from the last video. Man, it makes me feel good because it's nice to have a channel that where you can have other people heard on this channel too. Like it's not all about me. Like the viewers make this channel, man, and that's why it's so awesome to me. But yeah, I just thought we could just dive into some superhero games. I've got about 10 for this one. Like every video, I do about 10 games. These are pretty good ones, I think. There are going to be some stinkers throughout the series for sure. Like they can't all be winners. It's not always going to be in the cards for everybody. So, but yeah, let's dive into some superhero goodness. And as always, I appreciate you watching. All right, here we go with the world's most amazing anger management counselor, the Incredible Hulk, who faces against his greatest adversary, the Abomination. This is a free-roaming, open-world action-adventure, and this was a 2005 release. And in this game, the Hulk is subconsciously influenced by his human alter ego, Bruce Banner, and his psychotherapist, Leonard Samson, into assembling a device that will mend Banner's psyche and prevent the emergence of a darker personality. I wonder what that personality could be. We may never know. During the game, however, the device is, of course, taken by Emil Blonsky after destroying Banner's secret forest hideout. Man, look at that. I love punching those guys. Yeah, this game's fun. This is lives up to the name, Ultimate Destruction. You can do free roam. There's plenty of side missions, side stories to keep you busy too if you don't want to do the main story. Just amazing. He's a fantastic parkour athlete. This is him setting the trend before it was trendy. Do people still do parkour? I don't even know. Remember planking too? This is probably one of my favorite things to do. Make a nice pair of car isotoner gloves. This is so much fun. That takes us into the death and return of Superman. This was a 1994 side-scrolling beat-em-up. It was based on the Death of Superman comic book storyline, and features many characters from the comics, including Superman himself, surprise, Superboy, Steel, Cyborg Superman, the Eradicator, and Doomsday. All of the 5 Supermen are playable characters at some point in the game. This is, I don't know, it can get a little monotonous at times, the beat 'em up part, but it's definitely colorful. I think it's fun, and it's probably one of the better Superman games that you're gonna play, and probably one of the better ones I'm gonna feature. There's maybe a couple other ones that I think are pretty great, and then after that in the series they're all just gonna go downhill. So I figured, why not lure your good people in with the good Superman first, and then we'll focus on the bad ones later. Strategy from your friend Rob. All right, here's everyone's favorite victim of the mob. He returns in this 1993 Capcom arcade classic. You play as, that's right, the Punisher. Or you can play as the guy who made eye patches cool, Nick Fury. And even appearances by everyone's favorite acronym Team S.H.I.E.L.D. You and Uncle Nick here set out to kill the Kingpin, take down his organization, and avenge your fallen family. Ah, sweet revenge. Floor pizza. I love in these games they just eat food right off the floor, hidden food. I mean, you're gonna lift like an old garbage can and then you find this like perfectly cooked chicken, and then you have to think to yourself like, how long has that chicken been under that can? And how is it edible? Look at it. Beautiful. I can't even cook like that. Good for you, Punisher. Or Frank, as his friends call him. This one's pretty good. It's somewhat faithful to the arcade. Obviously, I'm going to prefer the arcade port over this one, but this one's a fun one. I can't count how many times I've seen fights like this break out on mass transit. And all that room in there. What kind of bus is this? Where are the other seats? Alright, that takes us into Blade. This is a 2002 action beat-em-up starring your favorite daywalker who prefers not to be asked about his tax information. This was actually supposed to be released the same day as the film, but eventually came out on the release day of the DVD. There were some delays, so it got a September release when the DVD came out. This is not a direct adaptation of the film. This is actually a sequel taking place between the events of Blade 2 and Blade Trinity, set 6 months after the events of the film. It follows Blade and Whistler as they attempt to prevent the vampires from creating a race of super vampires even more powerful than the Reapers. Seasons don't fear the Reapers. I guess I could have sang that, but my voice is so beautiful I probably would have got a copyright strike. It's true. This game was deemed a commercial failure, however, and a lot of critics actually didn't like this one, I guess, for the controls. I found the controls a little weird, too. You had to use the other thumbstick to actually do the fighting, which is weird because you're used to pressing like buttons and stuff. You did use the buttons for shooting, so I guess that was kind of cool, but I don't know. I think this is a pretty good game otherwise. I mean, can't do any worse. Well, yes, you can. I don't know why I said that. You can always do worse. Here is Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man and Venom. This came out in 1994. Another side-scrolling beat-em-up based on the comic book story arc of the same name, and will feature numerous heroes including Spider-Man, Venom, and their allies from the Marvel Comics fictional universe, such as Captain America, Black Cat, Iron Fist, Cloak and Dagger, Deathlock, Morbius, and Firestar, all of them teaming up to battle an onslaught of villains led by Carnage, including Shriek, Doppelganger, Demoglobin, and Carrion. The first prints of this game, actually, if you guys remember, was pretty cool because they were all those red cards. They were solid and red and pretty. I think they were pretty neat. But later they'd switch out to just normal cartridges. This game would be followed up by a sequel, and that was titled Venom: Spider-Man Separation Anxiety. Here we see our favorite webhead fighting confused people in the city who have no idea what temperature it is because it's either short weather or trench coat weather. These are confusing times. Here's another one that I particularly like a lot, actually. This isn't going to be for everyone, but this is Justice League Heroes. This came out in 2006. And this was actually based on the long-running comic book series as well. Centers around the Justice League as they try to stop Brainiac from destroying humanity. Each level lets you control 2 members of the Justice League, which is usually determined by the location of the level and by what powers are necessary. And you can be switched on the fly, so you can go back and forth between, like right here, Superman and Batman. I could switch to Batman if I want to. But yeah, this I think this game, I don't know, what's the saying? This game walked so Marvel's Ultimate Alliance could run. Did I say that right? It's kind of paved the way though for those type of games. Also interesting enough, this game displays up to 720p on the original Xbox, which I think is pretty cool, and I think it looks fantastic, but what do I know? I'm just a nerd with a YouTube channel. I will say the fighting in this one can get a little repetitive, but I still enjoy it. There's another one here that I don't know, I really like this one. Not many Spawn games that I can think of. I know there's a Super Nintendo one out there. This came out in 2003, an action-adventure hack and slash, and this was inspired by issues 1 through 99 of the Spawn comic book series. After receiving a flashback of his former life, I know we've all been there, right? Flashbacks. Spawn notices a flash of green light that blasts through the city, signaling the demons' war against the angels in a battle known as Armageddon. And boy, are they gonna get it on. Spawn then takes to the streets to answer the call and for revenge and settle the score with Jason Wynn, who of course is the director of the United States Security Group and perhaps the most powerful man in the world, and was responsible for Al Simmons, our boy Spawn here, to be sent to hell and transformed into Spawn. But I like this one. Some of the jumping from building to buildings can get a little annoying because it's like it can get really frustrating. But for the most part, the controls on this one is pretty solid. I like the use of the different weapons. You can see here I have a shotgun. The chains coming out of you to get the enemies is pretty cool as well. But I don't know, this is a good one. You have to let me know in the comments if anyone liked this one. The artwork for the ads for these games and the box art too, I thought was pretty amazing. Here we have Judge Dredd. This is a 1995 side-scrolling action game. This was a multi-platform release like most of the games on this list. And this is based on the 1995 film, set in the 22nd century. Everybody lives in the urban areas of the world. Police officers and lawyers have been abolished, and only the judges are in complete control of human society. One of them, Mr. I Am the Law, Judge Dredd, must pursue the renegade Judge Rico and Megacity's most dangerous criminals. Eventually, Dredd defeats Rico and wins a final battle with the Dark Judges to rescue Megacity. I'm a big Judge Dredd fan. If you've ever watched my Game House tour, I've got like a cool little Judge Dredd area. I've collected a few comics, few toys, nothing crazy, nothing that's gotten out of control, but definitely have this, and I do have the Sega Game Gear version. Oh, and I also picked up the Game Boy one recently. I think these are fun. They're good for what they are. Throwing in an arcade game in here. This one is the X-Men arcade game, right? Thanks, Rob. This is from 1992. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up as well, and this actually was one of the top 5 highest-grossing dedicated arcade games of 1992 in the United States. So that's a fun little fact you can share with your friends who are probably next to you watching this, hopefully. The players here, you can choose one of 6 X-Men. You have Cyclops, Colossus, Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, or Dazzler. Their objective is to stop the villain Magneto from wreaking havoc on human civilization, and they must fight through enemies from the comics such as the army of hundreds of Sentinels, mutant crocodiles, Reavers, and supervillains such as Pyro, Blob, Nimrod, the White Queen, Juggernaut, and Mystique. Later in the game, our good buddy Magneto will kidnap Professor X and Kitty Pryde, and that'll prompt the heroes to fight their way to Island M to face Magneto for one final battle. And last on the list for this part 1 of this series is one of my favorite Batman games of all time. It's not the one, but it's up there. This is Batman Returns. This came out in 1993, which is also a side-scrolling beat-em-up based on a film of the same name. And in this game, and like the movies, Batman fights the nefarious Penguin and the Red Triangle Circus gangsters, as well as tackling with Catwoman several times throughout the game. This game will take you through 7 scenes featured in the film, and each scene has a boss fight that Batman must win in order to proceed to the next scene. Amazing game. I've loved this game since it came out. I still love it today. I think I just love the whole, I don't know, you got Christmas going on, which is a favorite of mine. It's a dark story. It's one of the darker Batman stories. And yeah, it plays amazing. This is definitely a must-get in my opinion. But again, I mean, what the hell does Rob know? What do I know? I know I love Batman. Ugh, even Batman has to take the escalator. When there's an elevator right there. All right, there you go. 10 games. 10 games from Rob. Yeah, like I said, I was hoping to showcase some good ones in this video. I don't know. I think Spawn's pretty great. I like Spawn a lot. Always been a big Judge Dredd fan. Hulk, man, I could play that forever. I love the mindless destruction in that game. It's just a really fun game. So, but yeah, let me know in the comments. You know, I say it all the time, and you know, your comments will get answered. That's a thing I like to do. I like trying to answer every single person in the video comment section, just because I just want people to know their comments aren't falling on deaf ears. I mean, there's no sense in having a public, channel if you don't talk to the public. So, but let me know in the comments, like, what games would you like to see, or what were your favorite superhero games, or tell me off. I don't care if there's something in here sucked. Let me know it sucked. I mean, I can take it. That's another fun part of having a public channel. Is you're gonna get some negative stuff too, and you gotta just go with it. So, but yeah, what can I say? I appreciate everyone watching as always. We'll see you on the next vid, the Thursday vid. I don't know what it is yet. I think it's gonna be GameCube. So, and I still want to make a Wii U video at some point too. I'm all over the place, man. There's no theme to this channel. Just chaos, absolutely chaotic. Is it? I don't know. Anyways, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.